Today we have with us Captain Prabhunath. Captain Prabhunath is an AVP with G4S Securities. He has been an infantry officer, and today we have invited him to discuss the landscape of corporate security, corporate protection, workplace security, business continuity, broad function as to how this particular function adds value to the businesses, as to how this function is, with passage of time, becoming a very, very vital function of the corporate landscape so that the businesses function without disruptions, without any kind of break in the operations. And we would be focusing this discussion on these particular aspects. We'll be covering it in two parts. So welcome to the talk today, Captain Prabhunath.
Thank you so much, Vipul. Always a pleasure to be a part of your value network, and you're doing so much for the fraternity. That's up to you.
Thank you so much. It's all cooperation with brother officers. So my first question would be, can you provide us a very broad overview of how the day-to-day operations, or rather to say, what all tasks the corporate security teams and professionals do for businesses on a daily basis?
So I'll start with, just to make it easy, let me start with the manufacturing sector, then I can come to the corporate side of it. So for example, if there's a manufacturing unit based out of Hadira, and for example, a Reliance plant. So the first role every day in the morning security provides is it regulates the entry of the employees, the workforce, the vendor workforce, and then it also regulates the entry of the vehicles, the material, so that everything goes into the site and the production can start or it can continue from the production. So this is one daily task wherein security has a primary role. If we go slightly behind the scene in manufacturing setup, even the employees stay closer to the industry in their own township. So even regulating the entry, it's like managing an army cantonment. So everything from entry to exit, seeing that the employees are safe in their township is all the responsibility of security. That's the backside of it. Coming on to the major area where action happens, the industry as such. So once the labor and all has entered, and it happens over the shifts, right? And the numbers are huge. In some cases, it could be 10,000 per shift. So imagine regulating the entry of 10,000 people, and you have to do it ASAP. You cannot take endless hours to make these people enter, because if they are delayed, the whole production line is delayed. So this is one of the most important functions in terms of day-to-day operation. And of course, the whole industry or that manufacturing unit is surrounded, either it could be a boundary wall, could be a concrete brick or whatever, or it could have just pen. So ensuring that no one enters your perimeter unauthorized. Firstly, you are regulating the entry of the authorized people, managing it so that it's smooth. You are recording the log of every entry, because if tomorrow there's something goes wrong and you have not recorded the entry of every person, then we don't know at that particular moment where was that person. For example, something goes wrong and you want to see where that person was, whether he was inside the company or in the outside. So the logs which are maintained by the security industry, entry, exit, they play a vital role. So entry regulation is one, the perimeter function protection is second. Then within the industry also they regulate the traffic, and also that there is no workplace incident or accident. So that is one. They scan the baggages and also that there is no pilferage, entry and exit of unauthorized material. So primarily these are some of the things which keeps the security function busy every day.
How are the corporate security teams structured in terms of hierarchy, positions, people? So what's a typical, an example kind of a thing? I'm not saying it would be true for all, but a general structure.
So generally a security function of any company generally has a combination of people who are on roll of the company and people who are from the vendor side but helping the masters or the client. So for example, the CSO would be on the company role, and he will have his own team of 30, 40 people. And the balance, for example, if the total team is 200, then the balance 150 would be the manpower provided by the guarding agent. So guarding agency will have a set of people in terms of the guard, supervisors, then ASOs, SO. Up to that level, in some places there are assignment managers also that the team will take. So this element of 100, 150, depending on the size, will be the outsourced manpower who's helping the security function of the company work. And above this will be the supervisory or managerial level, which will be on the company role. So it could start from security officer, senior security officer, assistant manager, manager, senior manager, AGM, GM, and maybe finally CSO. So generally, and in some places, and depending on the size of the company, this hierarchy may be slightly more straight, or it could be compressed, depending on the total strength of the security function.
Okay. So
in addition to that, there could be some element of canine in some places, QRTs as an element. In some companies, fire and security are clubbed. In some functions, it is separated. In some companies, security and administration is clubbed. In some companies, it is separate. But generally, this is how security in the manufacturing sector.